Secretary, thank you for joining the Axios stage.
Nice to see you.
We appreciate you. So I saw you on TV this morning on the famous sofa in the Oval Office, the president on camera, an hour and 4 minutes with the South African president, bringing Ernie Els into it. What did that moment, that shocking, fascinating exchange, confrontation, what did that tell you about how President Trump thinks and works?
Well, the president is willing to call it out, straight out, right to the president, right, of South Africa and say, look, there's genocide going on for white farmers. Kill the Boer, kill the white farmer. And that's, and he just took video, took news out.
It doesn't mind an uncomfortable moment.
Oh boy, was it uncomfortable. And I walk in and he's got that video screen up and I know what video he's going to play. And I'm like, whoa, this is going to be one of those. And, and then we went privately and we had serious discussion. And it's just, he's amazing that he would do it straight up, right to it, no nonsense. Let's bring it. The guy's here. Let's try to fix it, right? Is this guy our friend or is he an enemy? Let's bring it out. Let's have the discussion. Let's understand it. Let's know it. And that's someone who's unafraid and willing to do it. And it was, that's why it's amazing to be part of his government.
Mr. Secretary, you promoted the Trump Gold Card, which makes it possible for you to get a visa for $5 million. I think you said when you were out to dinner, someone asked you for 10. Keep the change. When is the Trump Gold Card coming?
So I expect there'll be a website up called trumpcard.gov in about a week.
So this is news.
Oh yeah, and then the details of that will come soon after, but people can start to register, and all that will come over a matter of the next weeks, not month, weeks.
How many of you informally sold or pre-cleared or however you think?
So I'm in the Middle East. I'm at one of these giant dinners. There's 400 people at this giant dinner. And everyone's really respectful, and I have my phone out, and so someone says, one of the senior leaders walks by me and goes, why do you have your phone out? I go, I'm selling him cards. So like, okay. So basically everyone I meet who's not an American is going to want to buy the card if they have the fiscal capacity, because why wouldn't you want to be able, if something bad happens,
but most of the world can't.
Well, I'm not saying, right, for those who can afford to help America pay off its debt, right? This is for people who can help America pay off its debt. Why wouldn't you want a plan B that says, God forbid something bad happens, you come to the airport in America and the person in immigration says, welcome home, right? As opposed to where the heck am I going if something bad's happening in my country? So we're going to vet everybody. Everybody's going to be vetted, right? But these are going to be great people who are going to come and bring businesses and opportunity to America, and they're going to pay $5 million. So if 200,000 people, remember, we give 280,000 visas a year now for free, not counting the 20 million people who broke into this country for nothing under Biden, but 200,000 people who pay. That's $1 trillion. That pays for everything, everything. And so I want you to think about that. We give it away for free and said Donald Trump's going to bring in $1 trillion. For what purpose? To make America better. And it makes perfect sense to me.
Thank you for breaking that news on the Axios stage. Tariffs, a huge part of your portfolio. In 2019, President Trump dialed back tariffs against China because he said he didn't want to affect the holidays. Could there become similar carve-outs coming for toys, school supplies, kids' clothes?
I'd say it this way, which is right now, the baseline tariff is 10%. And you should consider that the baseline. It means there are many countries who you saw on April 2nd at higher rates. Those countries are negotiating with us, which means, will you give us opportunity to export to you? Right? They don't take our beef. They don't take our chicken. They don't take our corn. They don't take our machinery. They don't take our cars, blah, on and on and on. And they just take advantage of us. So what we would like is these other countries, open your markets to us, because we left our markets open. And the reason was, after World War II, right, we were all tariffs before World War I. And then on World War I, we said, come on, everybody, we've got to contribute to the war effort. We're going to create something called, because we had no tax, so we created something called the Internal Revenue Service. Remember, they didn't call it the income tax because we were used to raising all our money externally. So it was the Internal Revenue Service. No one ever thinks of that's the name. So after World War II, right, we think, you know what? We're going to let other countries raise their tariffs. We'll keep ours low, and we'll export the power of our economy, and we'll rebuild Asia, and we'll rebuild Europe after World War II, and then we'll rebuild Korea after the Korean War. Then we'll rebuild Southeast Asia over the Vietnam War. And then when is this going to stop? Why didn't we stop in the 80s or the 90s or 2000 or 2010 or 2020? Oh, my God, what are we doing? And finally, Donald Trump says, you know what? It's just unfair. We have low tariffs or no tariffs, and they have huge tariffs and non-tariff barriers, meaning you can't sell this, you can't sell that. And so Donald Trump's trying to make it, if you want to do business with us, open your markets to us, and we'll charge you a lower tariff. And if you don't want to open your markets to us, pass. So we'll make it fair. Finally, someone fighting for fair.
So of the 18 key trading partners, the government administration has deals arrangements with the UK and China. How many more of the 16 do you see making deals with by July 8th?
Yes.
Most of the 16.
Yeah.
A few.
That's the point.
Some.
I mean, look, there are some countries that are impossible, like the European Union. It's just very difficult because, you know, Germany would like to make a deal, but they're not allowed.
So some, not a lot.
No, I think most countries will have an idea of what we want to do with them, and the president will decide if they've made us an offer worthy of modifying their tariff terms, we'll do it. And if they haven't made us an offer that modifies it, the president will write them a letter saying, dear country A, we deeply appreciate doing business with you. Here's your tariff rate.
And do you think that will stand up when they're challenged by those countries?
Challenged how? In like pickleball?
Yeah. So
how are they challenging? What does that mean?
So that the presidents, if they don't make a deal, it's going to be imposed on them.
Yeah, I mean, look, we do business with India, and they charge tariffs left, right, and center on everything. Some things 100%, some things 50%, some things 30%, some things 10%. There's 15,000 different tariff rates on this giant, giant book. You can't believe it. It's like worse than the IRS code, if you could possibly imagine that. And then, so the question is, will they lower them enough? If they lower them enough, we'll go down from our 26% rate, which we put out on April 2nd. We'll go down. You go down, we'll go down.
To the new floor of 10, or there will be some beneath that?
There will be no floor below 10. 10 is our baseline. No one's going below 10. Okay, no one's going below 10.
Okay. Is it possible that there's an exclusion for products that really hurt, where the prices really could hurt working families, like baby products?
Well, I think the place is what a country can do is a country can say, look, we've got an unavailable natural resource, coffee. We don't grow coffee here. We don't grow green coffee here. So could a country say, look, you don't have that, so we'll make a deal with you. We'll open our markets, and we'd like to send coffee into America without a tariff. And I think the answer is, will that happen? I think the answer is, it's possible, right? If the country opens itself up. If it doesn't, then it'll pay whatever the going rate is for that country. But if they want to do it, and if they're really willing to open themselves up, then, of course, for unavailable natural resources, that would be something that we can do. But baby clothes and things like that, I think the answer is it's probably a 10% tariff, but you have to realize we have a 10% tariff on everything in the world right now. Right now, today. And how much inflation is there right now? Everything in the world's got 10%. You go to the store now, are you feeling the pain? No. Why not? Because there is no pain. Because what happens is the sellers the producers, the sellers, and the currencies change, and the price effectively mostly goes away. I'm not, what's the inflation rate in America? 2% odd? Okay, 2% odd. But seriously, for the month of May, every product in the world's got 10% on it right now, with no exceptions, no exclusions. That we have 25% on cars and that are coming in from out. Do any of you feel anything? Because I want you to understand, in the month of May, the United States of America is going to take in $35 billion towards our deficit of tariff revenue in the month of May.
And consumers will feel that.
Well, I said it's already on. This is on since April. So when it's not that the tariff is coming, it's on. Have any of you felt any of it? Seriously. Excellent. All right, now I'm going to ask the question again. Wait a second. The Chinese tariffs were brutal, and they changed a lot of things, but they are over. They are over, and you will see all those prices go away. You will see them all go away. The Chinese prices were tough, and that's all going to go away, right? And remember, he put 25% tariffs on China last time, right? And there was no inflation from it. In fact, in 2019, he had the lowest inflation rate that the United States ever had. So you will see, I agree with you, the Chinese tariffs caused pain last month. I agree, and I feel horrible about it, and the president felt horrible about it, but we had to fight the fight, okay? The president has to stand strong, and you can't fix things in a day, okay? And that's still going, but I would expect that prices in America will be unaffected.
So prices in America will stay the same, will not go up as these tariffs.
The tariffs are there now, right now.
So in the month ahead, this summer, this Christmas, you don't expect higher consumer prices because of tariffs?
I do not.
The president just made a series of tech deals in the Middle East, including with the UAE. Do you see that UAE deal as a template for the future?
I like the UAE deal. It was interesting. What the idea was is we will sell our best chips to our allies, provided a couple of things. Number one, that the data center is operated by an approved American company, like a hyperscaler, someone like Google or Microsoft or Apple or AWS or any of those great American companies. And the cloud that touches that data center has to be operated by a great American company. So both of those things, great American companies, and then we'll sell a reasonable amount of chips to our allies so that our allies can rely and participate in the AI future, not go look to China for that. So that way we bring our allies onto our side of the equation.
What can the Commerce Department do to promote the resilience of the semiconductor supply chain?
Well, the problem we have in the world is 90+% of semiconductors. So a semiconductor is everything that you push a button works, okay? So think of there's hundreds of them in your car, right? Because you have a button for your air conditioning, you have your button for the seat to move, and you have a button to start the car. And all those buttons are a semiconductor, okay? They're not all the Apple newest 3 nanometer. Some are the older ones that are 15 nanometer, the ones that were in the Apple IV, right? But all of them are made in Taiwan. And Taiwan is 90 miles from China. And China has said they want to take Taiwan. And they would take our future. Okay, we must produce semiconductors in America. So the CHIPS Act under Biden administration had TSMC, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, who is the biggest in the world. They had agreed to build $65 billion worth of plants here. And then I got involved and we renegotiated the contract and they agreed to build $165 billion here.
And will some of that Biden CHIPS money still be going out the door?
Yeah, but instead of being $6 billion for a $60 billion factory, it's $6 billion for $165 billion.
But that money and those commitments will ultimately be fulfilled.
They will.
For chips.
For the people who go up. meaning if it's more like 3 or 4%, the Biden administration gave between 10 and 20%, and the Trump administration thinks it should be more like 3%, maybe 4% maximum.
I'm sorry, for the people who go up from.
That means if you want the money, you will have to make a bigger commitment to America. So if you had committed $25 billion for a $2.5 billion grant, now you commit $60 billion for your $2.5 grant. And what happens is all those factories get built in America. So the TSMC, for example, for them going up to $165 billion, that's 40,000 construction jobs. And when they're done making that construction, it's 25,000 jobs for the foreseeable future.
All right, we're getting the hook in smart brevity. One fun thing, Mr. Secretary, during the transition, you broke a record. You bought Brett and Amy Baer's villa in Foxhall here in D.C., $25 million in cash, most expensive residential sale in history. How's the place?
I'm really happy for Amy Baer. She did a great job.
Does it need a little work?
No, it's a great house. But the super expensive houses in Washington are in Alexandria, Virginia. But this was close by.
What's it like to be a Washingtonian?
I think it's really fun. I mean, it's really fun. Look, I'm working every second of every minute of every day. I've sold everything I own, so I have no outside interests. Everything was sold on Friday past. So I have no outside interest. I'm just working. I told my wife if I ever sold my businesses, I'd have all my money in free time. Now I have all my money in absolutely no free time.
Mr. Secretary, thank you for a great conversation. Thanks for joining Axios. Appreciate you.